would just give us some more money. We obviously have the right to apply. They have the right to deny us again or approve us again, so the whole process. The problem that we have in making it continuous is, the submission is when? September. What happens is it's an extremely long process, and even though they come and they say, hey, we're going to give you an answer by X date, they also don't care if they don't give you an answer by X date. So, for example, we were supposed to hear yes or no on the second round of our grant submission, I think back in last October or August. It wasn't until December. And then all of that kind of just shifts right along with it. So, well, right now we have the grant, but we don't physically have that money. I can't start writing checks on that today. So what's going to happen is we will go out and request funding for phase 2 from the state in the same process, but it won't happen until September. It's roughly 6 months under review because it goes through all the politicians. So basically is we won't, even if we do get the second phase grant at the next submission, there's no way we would actually receive the funding time for phase 2 to occur next year. Now we hope that will happen through other things, corporate donations, fundraising, things of that nature, additional in-kind services hopefully. But if it doesn't, and that becomes our only source, then phase 2 and phase 3 will time themselves accordingly.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
We kind of felt fortunate that we got what we got, believe it or not.
What happens if you don't? What happens if this table full of idiots here start pushing dirt and you end up with more money in it than you think you do? I mean, what happens at the end of phase 1 if you don't have phase 1 done and you have a shortfall?
We got to face that if that happens. You know, we have to sit down and talk to these guys, formulate a plan to utilize what they've donated to the best of our ability. What's left, if it doesn't get completed in that amount of time, which I don't think, in my opinion, will never get completed in that amount of time, we will have to allocate funds out of the grant to pay for that.
Yeah, the unfortunate truth is if we do run out of money before we run out of things to do, we at that point would be stalled. I think this group has made a ton of accomplishments, and we will continue to make those efforts. But the reality is if we get to that point and we don't have any funding, then the progress would stop at that point. We hope that doesn't happen. As Snoop mentioned, the current donations of time possibly not being sufficient to cover the rough excavation, but we also have somebody else who couldn't commit to it enough to put it in writing in the grant, but was also potentially willing to donate some services. But you helped me bring up a good point in that, like we said earlier, it's a great thing that we got this grant, but we can't stop. We got to keep going. We got to keep trying to get businesses to help us with this, keep trying to do fundraising, keep seeking other in-kind services, and hopefully the community is continually going to keep responding.
Josh?
Yeah.
We had ideas to go for like Plan B. We never got a cent from the state. Right? We were formulating a plan to pursue money elsewhere, whether it be borrowing, look for it from other different foundations, things like that, whatever it was going to take. You know, we went too far now to stop.
Right.
And we're not going to stop. And, you know, we were holding our hands on our butt, waiting for this letter for months and months and months. To tell you the truth, I pretty much wrote it off. When he called me and said we got it, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Snoop's our pessimist. Snoop's our pessimist.
I wasn't.
We were all overly optimistic.
When I talked to that guy in Harrisburg, he said, you know, he tells you this and this and this is against you, this is against you, this is against you. It was pretty discouraging. The biggest thing was being a new entity. We haven't done anything to prove ourselves. So it came as quite a shock when we found out that we were funded for what we second application. We got funding for 83.5. We were pretty ecstatic.
So you got funded for 83.5, you got 30-some thousand
No, that 30-some thousand went to engineering services.
Yeah, the majority of the funds that have came in to date have been used and quickly allocated. We do have a small amount of cash base, but it's pretty small. Yeah, most of the funds that came in went out to those different resources.
If you start pushing dirt, people will get interested.
I think that's where I have to step in, Josh. It's hard for me to go out and solicit money from corporations.
If nothing's
Nothing's
there, right.
going on. I've kind of been sitting back, waiting. It's hard for me to go look somebody in the eye and ask them for a bunch of money when nothing's happened.
Right.
So I guess to answer your question a little bit, it's on corporate donations to make sure the funds are there. If we don't have enough money to finish phase one, we got to make sure we have enough money to finish phase one. So I guess it depends on what we can come up with, how people step up to help us out.
Snoop, has there been an estimate from the guy that's the consultant for the construction or whatever on how long he thinks it's going to take to move that dirt?
Kranak was here, he might be able to answer that question.
I mean, because we've all thought about what it would take, but has anybody ever sat down
I
and got a
can't
real
answer that question.
cubic yards of dirt that needs moved? And
Yeah, the next step in that process is, now that we have the grading plan from the engineer, is to sit down with all of the excavators with that, and at that time, let them tell us, okay, now that they know what it is we're going to do, how much dirt.
that's what I mean. Nobody's actually said it should take X amount of days.
No, not yet.
If Kranak could have been here tonight, I talked to him before the meeting started. He was stroke. And he wanted to sit on and set up a meeting with you and Wagler and Tavish, set a date soon, so we can sit down and discuss this. And answer questions.
Dave Hoover donated gravel, but did he donate anything for a dozer? Big dozer?
We have some access to some stuff probably. We have another friend of ours who's also offered his services.
Yeah,
He did not commit himself to this.
but
because-
pretty sure that it will come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the more people pushing, the faster. I mean, there's a lot of dirt out there
We
to
have
move.
a guy that's going to oversee the excavation.
Who is that?
He is a local, I don't know the question, his name, we actually have him. His name was brought up to me from one of the Tavish. He would help.
Yeah, okay.
We
I
actually
know.
haven't sat down and got anything from.
He's going to kind of oversee it.
Yeah, he wants to.
Well, good. That'll work.
Yeah, plus there's going to be multiple contractors.
He has a better idea how much it takes to move that much dirt anyway.
Now we have a problem with Stumper.
If anybody's board wants to go pick stumps out, we're looking for a volunteer.
Upload stumps up there.
We didn't realize how much of the ball field was in the trees when we started up there. Yeah, some of the donations, those of you who made the donations that are here tonight, remember, to put them into the grant, we actually had to have it in writing and signed from the owner of that company that they would make that donation when the time comes. There were some people who made, we just call them soft donations, and that they would help in at the time, but they weren't in a position to give such a signed letter. So we do have some additional resources we're looking at outside of the ones that are strictly committed. Any other questions, feedback on design, opposition? If you don't like the thing, this is the time we want to hear it. Lighting's a big thing. We want to let everybody know that it's a goal to have lighting up there. Obviously, until we have all of the other things completely completed, it wouldn't make any sense to spend money on lighting. But eventually, that would be a very nice necessity to do, or not a necessity, but a very nice thing to have up there. Any other questions? That's either good or bad, either overwhelmed with information or didn't give you enough. Well, that's it for our program.